Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. We have another pile of e-waste to go through. When I say e-waste, that's what it was designated as from the charity shop. I save it all each week and I see if I can keep it going. We fix, we clean, we resell, we scrap if it's no good. Try and keep as much as possible out of the waste stream. Now, the dogs are going off in the background because the neighbour's having some gardening done, and I had Eileen ask, because most of you regulars know we've got Coco, our little boxer, and there's another dog that sounds a little bit like a Wookiee, and if you don't know what a Wookiee sounds like, you've never watched Star Wars obviously. He's a Cane Corso. Christine's son's dog's been staying with us for a while. Here's a photo of the two of them I had on the deck from a while back. I always find this amusing because Coco's looking at me saying, yeah, what of it? We didn't do this. And Caesar's sitting there with a look on his face that says, oh, the shame. So, and I think it was a pillow they tore up. Anyway, back to the job at hand. We have one crate of bits and pieces. We have a little boombox, which I'm always pleased to get. It's a Philips. We have another Sunbeam fry pan that we had last week, and I've had a bit of information on those that I'll share with you when we get to it. And the thing I bought to flip this week, I couldn't find much, but I did find this really huge copper jug. It was $8. I'm going to weigh it in a minute because I'm pretty sure it's worth more than $8 just as scrap copper. It is definitely copper. It's not just copper coloured, and it's really cool. I'm going to put that in the shop probably for about $40, $45. So our $8 I think was well invested there. We'll weigh that though when we get to it and see what it works out as scrap value. So we'll go through this tub, we'll test out the boombox, we'll test out the other fry pan, and we'll do the list at the end as we usually do to see how much we can sell stuff for, how much we can actually save, and that will complete another Monday marathon. Don't know if this will be a marathon or not, depends what I get distracted with. All right, let's go through this. Right on top we have a infrared massager. Homedics, still in its packaging. I presume it's been used. The cord's been unwrapped and the packaging has been torn open. But I think I've sold one of these before. And it looks in good condition. The other fittings are here. Various fittings that go on the end. We'll test that. We should be able to get $10 for that. I reckon that's what I sold the last one at. This is a calculator, a Canon desktop calculator. It looks like it used to have a printer, but it doesn't look. It's absolutely full of dust, and it looks a bit crooked. I don't know if something's broken in there or not, and it's probably missing a cover or something. But it's a mains operated one. It's an older unit, probably 1980s or 90s. I guess we can see if it works, but I don't think it's going to have very much value. Might be interesting just to scrap to see what's inside it. As usual, we get lots of lamps. It seems like we get lamps and clock radios. They're the two most popular things that get donated to the charity shop. This is an LED, like a ring light. Looks in good condition. So I hope this one actually works, because that'll be an easy flip. We'd probably get 10 for that. Oh, hang on, it's a magnifier as well. Excellent. I wonder if I should keep that. Might be really good for getting splinters out, but also for looking at circuitry. I may even hang on to that one. We'll test that one soon. We also get a lot of kettles. This is a Cambrook. It looks nice and clean. It actually doesn't look too bad inside. We'll give this the usual boil with citric acid to give it a good clean up. It does work very well, but that one looks good as long as it tests safe, and hopefully we have the base for it. We should be able to get 10 for that as well. This lamp is a very modern lamp, but it's the retro style. With a bit of timber. It's got a compact fluorescent globe in it. Looks in good condition. Switch and the cord. Alright, so I think that would sell very well too. So hopefully we don't really get much e-waste at all. Probably the calculator. Oh yes, I did say clock radios. We nearly always get clock radios. But that's fine. They nearly always work. And I've been managing to sell them pretty easily. Usually I only put $5 or $10 on them. But much better finding a new home than sending them out to the transfer station as e-waste. There's the base for our kettle. And we have a couple of little computer speakers here. What do they say? Gigabyte. So little wired computer speakers. and they seem to sell okay. Not so many people. Oh, it's got USB power, yeah, and it plugs into the audio. Not a lot of people use them these days, but I guess they do still plug into laptops, I think. Certainly we used to all have computer speakers with our desktop computers, but so many people now don't have a big size computer, they just run laptops. So I've been able to sell them, they'll probably only be $5. And what's wrapped up in plastic here? Looks like a cord and a remote. Oh, maybe that's for the boombox. No, they don't normally have remotes. I have nothing else in this box. And it's wrapped up in sort of a shrink wrap plastic. Bit hard to get into. What's the remote say? Philips. Oh, well, maybe it does have. Maybe our boombox does have a remote. I don't think I've ever seen a boombox with a remote. Okay, well, we'll get this box off the bench and we'll start testing things. We'll just look at these two before we start plugging stuff in. So this is a Philips boombox. It does have a cassette somewhere. And a CD. It's very dirty. Does that open up? Oh, there's a cassette in there too. Interesting layout. So the cassette goes under the lid. The CD does as well. Does look a bit dirty. Can we eject the cassette? I don't know how we do. Maybe we just flick it up. Oh, is that eject? No, that's play or record. Okay, we'll look into that shortly. Don't know what the cassette is. It looks like it's a home recorded one. But yeah, it looks like this must take, oh, is that a infrared sensor? Maybe it takes a remote. And the Sunbeam fry pan, the one we had, was it last week or the week before? I've actually sold. I took it to the shop, put $20 on it, and it has actually sold. This one is in much worse condition. Oh, look at the hot plate here. Can you see? You'll see it in the reflection. It's deformed all the aluminium. That has been super hot. And I've never seen it happen before on these. It's actually deformed the aluminium. And it doesn't actually follow where the heating element goes. That's really weird. Anyway, we can't sell it like that, even if it tests safe on my appliance tester. That is clearly damaged. So that, as I mentioned in the other episode, if they don't work or they're not good enough to sell, they're very easy to deal with as far as scrap metal goes. This will go as irony aluminium. The element is enclosed. I'm going to leave the plastic feet and the handle on it. The whole lot can just go like that as irony aluminium. We'll weigh it up and see what it's worth. It'll be $1 or $2. It does weigh quite a bit. And the lid isn't good enough to really save. We'll take the knob off it, the little side piece, and that can go in our clean aluminium. And of course, we get some value too out of the electric wire. And is it a Bakelite plug? I think that's worth saving. I usually get $5 for the Australian-made Bakelite plugs because people like to fit them on old radios and things they're restoring. So some good value in this particular case for scrap. But the last one that was in really good condition, we did actually sell for $20. All right, so nothing to do there because I'm not going to test it. That'll just be scrapped. Let's check. I will do the boombox later. Let's check some of these lamps first. I was just processing this fry pan just quickly and I was about to take the plug off and I removed the cover and I'm not sure if you can make that out, but the wiring, it's the old rubber covered or coated wire and it's all twisted together. So the earth and the neutral and the active wire, the rubber insulation has come off them and they're all twisted together. If we had have plugged that in, there would have been a rather large bang and a spark and it would have blown the fuse or the circuit breaker on the power board. So I'm glad we didn't plug it in. But yeah, it's probably, especially on these older ones, if you want to save the original cord, it would be a good idea to check the plugs before you actually plug them in. Not that it really represents danger, but it would give you a fair fright. And that's why our houses have circuit breakers and fuses, because those wires are essentially all joined. And it would have been an interesting experience that I'm glad I didn't have to experience. So there we go. On the old cords, check the wiring before you actually plug them in. Ideally, we shouldn't reuse these cords with the old rubber wiring because it does break down. But on older appliances that people want to keep original, and as long as they're wired okay, and we haven't got this sort of thing happening, they are safe enough to reuse in the short term. All right, so we'll just continue to undo these. We will salvage the plug, but the wire itself, you can see all the rubber insulation is just falling off it. Just while I'm cleaning up this lid, there was something else I was going to mention about these aluminium vintage fry pans. I did mention in my last video that I don't sell them because aluminium's not safe to cook in, and I was corrected by a few people in the comments, thanks very much, that apparently most of that has been debunked, and aluminium is okay to cook in as long as you avoid acidic type foods like tomatoes and things. But you know, it used to be that everyone cooked in aluminium back in the 50s and 60s and into the 70s, and then health regulations, well, I don't think they ever banned it, but they basically said it's not safe, and it's been linked with Alzheimer's and things like that. But apparently it's okay to cook in aluminium. But yes, not acidic type foods, probably just as a safety precaution. Anyway, that's the go with that. It's handy to know, so thank you for your input. I will continue then to sell aluminium saucepans and not turn people off trying to cook with them. That's now a clean piece of aluminium for the scrapyard. No issues there. And the other part's right to go. We've taken the other bits and pieces off. We have our plug that I should be able to get $5 for. It does need a bit of a clean up. It's a bit greasy. And we have our cord. That's going into our electric wire bin. Let's test its magnifying lamp next. We'll plug it into our appliance tester. It is double insulated. There's no earth to check. There's no metal on it. I've powered it up. It works. It works nicely. That's quite a good light. And we have our magnification. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, I'm going to keep that for sure. Let me see if I can show you. We'll get a focus. It's hard to know which way to move my hand. But that's really good. I think that will be handy on my workbench. It's nice and light. It's not super large. And LED, cheap to run. Not that I'd have something like this on for a long time. But that's good. That's a nice little light. It's probably the sort of light people might use to do their fingernails, that sort of stuff, but it's going to be handy for soldering jobs, all sorts of little workshop uses. If I was to sell it, I'd probably, at least, let's turn it off so we don't dazzle you. It's a magnifier lamp. It doesn't actually give a brand. Model QM3552, 6 watts, uses hardly any power at all. I would have at least 10 on this. I could probably even ask 20 in the shop, but I think it's going to be more useful here. So very good. Happy to score that one, and I'm glad it didn't go into the e-waste crates. Right, let's get the other lamp tested. Okay, this one is fairly light. The timber base doesn't really have much weight to it. I guess it could tip over pretty easily. Oh, geez. Good catch. We could always alter the angle, because the further reach you'd have out horizontal, the more likely it is to tip. That's better. We can't actually pivot the top. Let's pivot it back down though so you can see it. It's probably out of shot. There we go. All right, I'll try not to knock it. Let's plug it in. Again, double insulated, no earth. Power it up. And we have nothing. But then it's mostly just, oh, it does work. I couldn't even see it from here. I don't know if you guys could see it. So it does work. It's just that that globe's not much good. All right, excellent. Nothing really to do here other than a bit of a dust. And get the globe out. I better turn it off, I suppose. Looks like the fitting's a bit loose, but we'll replace that globe. Possibly could get $20 for this. The retro styling's quite popular now. Did we have a brand on it? We didn't have a brand. It does say made in PRC, which is People's Republic of China. They started putting that on things because of the made in China sort of almost became a derogatory term for something cheap. There's some pretty good stuff coming out of China now, but a lot of things say made in PRC. But look at the retail price, $129.95. That's unbelievable. Someone must have bought it new. I'm probably just going to put $20 on it in the shop. It should sell pretty quickly, particularly if someone reads what the retail price was. And that's boiled the kettle. It seems to be performing nicely. It's not leaking and it tests safe, and we have an earth, which is important to check on kettles with stainless steel bodies. It should be nice and clean inside. I'm going to tip this boiling water with a bit of citric acid in it out in the garden just on a few weeds, and that really just needs a little bit of a clean up. It's not too bad actually, so we should be able to get 10 for that, and it's cleaned up very nicely inside, so that's good. We're not having too many failures today. Let's check this clock radio. It's a Panasonic, okay. Has a little power pack, so it's a low voltage unit, but the power pack doesn't unplug. That's fine, doesn't matter. Power it up. All right, we have nice, good size LED numbers in an orange. It's a radio as well, I presume, because we have an antenna wire here. Let's see if we can pick up something FM, although I'll have to turn my ring light off. All right, that's better. Let's go. There we go. It's noisy. Sounds like it's going to work. Tune. It doesn't have any preset stations. I'll see if I can find one. Okay, there we go. That seems to be working fine. Let's turn that down. And that's without the antenna wire unraveled. So it seems like a reasonable radio. Has sleep options, preset channels 1 to 10, brightness on the channel, on the display I mean. Snooze function. Yeah, not a bad little radio. Being a Panasonic, I would imagine it wasn't super cheap. Hope they didn't have a battery here. No batteries there. It's just for the clock memory if the power goes out. Okay, I think we'd get 10 for that without any problems at all. They seem to sell pretty quickly, these clock radios. I don't ask big dollars because they come through very quickly and I rarely have to do anything to them. Just a quick wipe over. What else have we got to test? We have this little massager with the fittings that were still in the box. And it was an infrared massager, I think, which basically means it just heats as well as massages. We have setting 1. That's a flexible neck on it too. Sounds fine. 2. Yep. Works fine. And heat. Do you have to hold that on? Oh, it goes red. Oh no, it's a button. It's a switch. Let's turn the... I don't think it'll heat without the vibrations going. Looks like the brake light of a vintage car, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it's getting warm. We might leave it run for a bit just to see, but it appears to work fine. I'll have to check up to see what these were worth, the Homedics ones. I would imagine it wouldn't have been super cheap. Whether we can get 20 for it, I don't know. We might go with 10. I'll have a bit of a check on that. We'll put it in the notepad at the end. Yeah, I think that is getting warm, yes. Okay. So the only other thing I have here to check other than the boombox and the calculator, I guess, is these speakers. I'll just go and plug them into the laptop. We don't really need to see that. They run off USB. As long as they sound okay, we'll try and get 5 for them. They're a bit scratched up, but they're okay. No damage otherwise. Let's try the calculator before we do that. I'm not sure if the calculator will have any sort of market. They're so cheap now, the battery operated ones. People don't really use desk calculators anymore. Let's power it up. And there's nothing on the screen. Do we have an on switch or something? Here we go, on, off. All right, so it works. There's something pretty cool about using it. It's almost like a clicky keyboard. All right, it appears to work well. It's a lot of digits. Certainly a lot more numbers or characters than you do get on a basic little battery calculator. Not sure what some of these things do. And the printer function, I'm pretty sure won't work. It looks damaged and it's full of dust. I don't know why it's sitting on an angle. Something's gone wrong with that. It's a shame we don't at least have a cover for it. Alright, I'll check it out to see if it is actually worth anything. Okay, I'll check that online. We might get $5 for it, we might scrap it. We'll get to that shortly. The boombox, let's check the boombox. Now it is pretty dirty, but hopefully it works. I do have some customers looking for cassette players. Alright, first thing I always do with these, make sure there's been no batteries left in there. Oh yeah, that's the battery compartment. All right, it's not corroded, so that's good. Most people never really bothered using the battery compartment, but sometimes if they did once and left the batteries in, it pretty well destroys the thing. Okay, standard figure 8 cord. Let's plug that into the appliance tester. And see, well, we have, it's trying to read the CD, okay? So that, at least that's, geez, that display's dirty. That will clean up fine. Let's try the radio first. Okay, sounds like that's going to work. All right, that's good. We didn't even have to tune it. Okay, next let's see if the CD works. It does look a bit dusty in there. The top of the laser might be dirty. Let's see if it reads it for a start. CD this side. It says CD on the screen. It's reading. It says 16 tracks. That was quick. Does it play? Sounds like it's going to work beautifully. Let's go to the next track. I think this will do it. Yep, track 2. All right, that's working well. Track 3. Okay, our CD works beautifully. The least likely thing to be operational is the cassette. We didn't even work out how to get the cassette out. It doesn't have an eject button as such. So I think we just got to lift it up. There we go. Manual eject. I can't even read what that says. It's obviously a home recorded cassette. Let's see if we can play something on it. And see if we have any fast forward or rewind motion. Okay, it rewinds. Promising. Fast forward. No, it's slipping. It's trying to go. Rewind. It's working well. See if it'll play. Oh, we need to push it to tape. Okay. Oh, it looks like it's going to play. Wow, that's promising. So the pause works, obviously. Let's turn the volume down a bit. So we only have fast forward that's not working. Oh, now it's working. Okay, maybe the belt was just stuck a bit. Excellent, that appears to be working fine. I might run a few tapes through it to make sure it's going to be okay. And I do have a customer, as I mentioned before, that wanted a cassette player. Needs a good clean up, but that is nice that all 3 operations on this boombox appear to be working fine. So I'll check eBay to see if this particular model brings much. As for the age of it, I'm guessing it's probably 1990s, maybe early 2000s. Certainly needs a clean though, it's filthy. So I left the cassette playing for a while and we have some unfortunate news. The cassette got slower and slower and slower and it was sounding awful until it stopped. Now I don't have any fast forward function and I don't have any play function. Rewind still works, but obviously the drive belt for the forward motion, the play and the fast forward, has either stretched, it's probably just stretched, hopefully it hasn't, well I'm sure it hasn't turned to goop how some of them do because it wouldn't have played at all, but it must have stretched and it's not working. So I'm going to replace the belt in it, but I won't do it in this particular episode. The other thing I forgot about the remote, and I had a look at that, it's rather dirty on top, but it's not too bad. But opening the battery compartment, we see the good old Duracells have leaked everywhere. And on the back of that, that may have been a strip of foam to cushion them, but it now looks like a big deposit of corrosion. It will have destroyed the terminals there. I think Duracells these days are affectionately known as Duraleaks. They're terrible quality batteries. So I'm not going to give up on this. What I'm going to do is I'll repair this remote and I'll put a new belt on the cassette deck. Whether I do it in a separate video or not, Just depends on how much time I've got over the next few weeks, or it might be put aside for a while. But I would like to get this thing going because I have got customers, as I mentioned, that want cassette decks. And this one, I know everything else is going to be okay pretty well except the drive belts. So I might try and do it soon. And whether we have the remote or not really doesn't matter because most boomboxes don't. And it responds beautifully. So, you know, you control it with all the functions here like you do on any other boombox. You don't need to walk across the room and press buttons on this. But if I can fix this, I will. As it is, well, I'm going to clean it up for this episode like I do with all my e-waste. We'll just make it look a bit nicer. I could certainly sell it just as a radio and a CD player. It works fine for that. And I'm going to nominate a figure of $20. But if I can get the cassette player working, and even if I can fix the remote as well, I found one online that sold for $50 or thereabouts Australian plus $20 postage. There was a few overseas, but I think I could get $60 or $70 for it as a completely restored unit with new belts. And I have customers that would pay that. So I'm going to do that. But for this episode, I will just clean it up. We'll price it as a radio CD with the cassette not working. I won't even include the remote as far as that goes. And we'll write down $20 for it because the CD did work very well. So that's about it. I'm going to go through and clean things up. I did check out this calculator. I found a few online with the printing functions actually working, and they weren't selling for much, but they were selling. And given that this is really cool to type on, I reckon I'm going to put $5 in the shop, see how we go. We wouldn't get $5 worth of scrap out of it, so I'll quickly clean that one up. That means that everything in this episode, other than the fry pan, will be sold as going items. And as for the old fry pan, let's just see how much value we have from scrap. Firstly, the cord with the plugs removed. It barely registers. We're just over 100 grams. So it's just, I think, a whisker under $5 a kilo now. So about 50 cents for the cord. The aluminium lid won't weigh very much. We're at half a kilo, so that's about 50 cents. So we're at $1 so far. And the base, which is quite heavy, will go as iron aluminium, which is actually $1 a kilo at the moment. So there's $2 for that. So $3 all up for the fry pan. We do have the one plug. Oh, we're going to get $5 for the Bakelite plug. So $8 return. That's pretty good from a non-saleable fry pan because of its damage. While we've got the scales out, let's check this copper jug that we had before. Now remember, we paid $8 for it. It would go as number 2 copper at the scrapyard, which is about $12 a kilo now. So let's see if this weighs a kilo. It's actually a whisker over a kilo. So about 1.2 kilos by about $12 is, what's that, 12.2's $2. So about $14, a bit over $14 for scrap copper. And it was $8 in the charity shop. But I reckon I can get about $45 for that. That's a really cool jug. It's got some good weight to it, as you saw. It's got a really cool big handle, and it appears to be in pretty good condition. I don't think it'll leak. So there we go. That was a nice buy, I reckon. Up on the deck now for a look at all our treasures in one spot. Actually, we've got quite a lot this week. It didn't feel like that much when I carried it to the shed. The boombox cleaned up really well. I didn't go to a lot of trouble, but all the dust and grime wiped off it very easily, and it really looks the part. The antenna wasn't broken. I didn't clean up the remote there, but we will allow just $20 for that as it is. However, I will try and repair the cassette as mentioned. Everything else polished up quite well, and we have a little bit of scrap down here, and we have one plug from the electric fry pan going to e-waste, and just a couple of the knob and the other little bit will just go in the bin. So that's it. No wastage this week because the aluminium will go to the scrapyard. Just backing up here a bit because Coco's been playing with her little rope toy here, and when I talk to you guys, she gets a bit jealous and growls at me. There we go. We better get to the notepad and see what sort of totals we ended up with. Here you go, fetch. The notepad for this week looks like this. We have the LED magnifying lamp I'm keeping. So we have a total of electrical stuff at $88. That includes a bit of scrap as well. So given the price I could get for that magnifying lamp, we would basically clear $100, $45 potentially for the copper jug. So close to $150 this week, and that is a bit surprising because, yeah, it didn't look to be much when I first carried the tub in, and that Philips boombox will be multiplied out with the repair of the cassette, but we'll leave it here as $20. We're not really worried about the total for these Monday Marathon videos. It's just for those of you that are following and are interested, and I know some of you actually do work in charity shops and are interested in what I sell the electrical stuff for, gives you a bit of a guide, because you guys probably won't be looking to fix a cassette player. Economically, it's probably not even viable for me, even if I get $70 for it, because it is a bit time consuming, and of course we have to buy belts for it. But I'm not worried about that. I just like to save as many things as I can. Last week's results are very encouraging. We sold the fry pan, as I mentioned. We sold the little microwave. I got my $20 for that. The blender, as a family member's using it, and it's been working great. The iron we've sold. Still got that Philips clock radio. We did sell the cheaper clock radio. The other one got left in my van and hasn't even been out in the shop yet. The Bluetooth speaker has been put aside for Kit, who's a subscriber of the channel. He's going to pop through soon. No takers on that dock yet. The bedwetting alarm, I had someone message me through Facebook that were very keen. They wanted me to post it. They actually offered me $40 to post it out to them. So they knew that they were fairly expensive to buy. I said, with that sort of offer, I'm happy to post it out. I wasn't going to do it for 10. And I think I said 40 posted. They might have even offered me 45. I did drop it a little bit. So I'm happy to do that. So we will mark that off when it actually gets paid for. And the other stuff, I've sold that metal box with the circular saw parts in it already. Someone just bought it for the box. So yeah, pretty successful. Just 1 week in the shop and all that stuff's gone. And the previous couple of weeks, well, episode 37, one of the lamps is gone, the air fryer's gone, which I think had gone last week. So weather hasn't warmed up enough yet to sell fans. And the week before, everything's finished. The 80s lamp has sold. Remember, one of them broke, but we did get 10 for the other. I've still got a spare shade from that broken one. The modern lamp went on the weekend, so did the salt lamp, and the other things I think had sold. So that's good. We can rule that one off. And I think all previous ones have been ruled off too. So this series is going really well with rehoming electrical stuff. I'm very happy with the outcomes very quickly. So thanks for watching, guys. I've been really enjoying the variation we get lately. We do get a lot of lamps and we do get a lot of clock radios, but you know, out of all the things that I get a lot of, those are the ones that are pretty easy to sell and require the minimal amount of work. So usually just a wipe over. Sometimes I've got to fix a switch on a lamp, but they're really easy to work on. So I don't mind getting lots of those because they sell very easily. Boomboxes I always like finding, even usually though it turns into a project, which I kind of don't need too many more, but I'll still take them because I'm a glutton for punishment. Thanks for watching, guys. I know you guys are gluttons for punishment too for my videos because I keep pumping them out. I'm glad you're still following along. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.